is the activation company. And you might be saying to yourself, I don't even know what that is, right? Basically, I love this simple way to think about it. What we do is we take it to make it. It's much different than supplementation. We actually empower our bodies to make antioxidants, to make proteins, enzymes, all the things you need for better health that already live inside your body that the world probably shut down as we got older, right? We just live in a really toxic world. But when you share activation, you're activating your whole life, right? There's opportunity to earn supplemental income, opportunity to earn free travel, opportunity to make a huge difference in other people's lives, which is my favorite part, and to join this movement and have a community around you. It's really, really fun. We're going to talk about all of this tonight and all the possibilities of activation. So LifeVantage has an array of different activators and products, right? Please know that. We activate cells, system, brain, gut, tissues, immune system, skin, hair, like we activate it all, okay? You are going to look and feel like a whole different person when activated, I'll tell you that. But we're only gonna break down a few products for you tonight, otherwise you'd be here for 4 hours, right? So I'm gonna turn it over to Dr. Brett to dive into a little bit more specifics about a few of these products. Brett?
Awesome. Hey, John, I appreciate the opportunity to do this with you. I know we were chatting just earlier last week and like, hey, we just need to have this conversation with people. So really briefly on my background and I could talk for a long time. Actually, I a lot of times speak for 3 and 4 days at a time about health and wellness, and nobody wants to hear that right now. So what I'm going to do is to be super simple. How you feel right now, like how much energy you have, how well you sleep, how quickly your body actually repairs from like a working out, an accident, injury, like how much energy you have throughout your day is directly equal to how activated your cells are. So how well those cells work together. So I've been in the supplement industry, well, really my whole life. From the time I'm little, I can remember taking vitamins and pills because that's just what I did. My dad was a nutritional formulator. He's formulated over 200 natural products that we sold through healthcare channels. So that's been my life for literally since I was born 50 years ago, but really, especially the last almost 30 years. And I've trained physicians all over the world. So when people bring me products all the time, I always like look at them. I look at the ingredients, and a lot of times like they just don't look that special. Well, this product right here was one somebody brought to me years ago, and I looked at the ingredients and I said it just didn't look that special, right? Because I noticed the ingredients in it, but they look like other products that just had similar ingredients. I didn't understand what activation was at that time. So what I want you to understand is all of us are healing at the level we are based on what you're currently giving your body. So I want you to think about if you have children that they have a potential. Are they all living up to the potential they have? So I have three children in college. One is in high school, and I've been supplementing their income for a really long time. Right? I paid for college, paid for shoes, paid for room and board. Right? Saved money for their college. I don't want to supplement them forever. Right? I don't want to keep giving to them. I'd rather activate their ability to make an income. So we give them a degree, give them a knowledge, right? Give them a skill set so they can earn money for themselves. Your cells have the capacity to activate and repair themselves if it has what it needs and if the switches are turned on. So this product, Protandim Nerve 2, it works by turning on the assembly lines in your cells for your body to repair. So if you feel like you're not repairing as fast as you were when you're little, this system is not working as well as it can. This one product has been shown in multiple studies to reduce that healing response or that oxidative stress load by an average of 40% in 30 days up to 70% in 3 months. So imagine your children earning their own income, paying for their own things. Like what would that feel like, right? Month 1, month 2, much less, year 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's what activation is in your cells. And so LifeVantage, when they discovered this back in 2003, there was a video that aired on ABC Primetime in 2005 because it's such a new concept. Well, we're 20 years later and people still don't know what this is. But it became a concept of instead of trying to give the body a little more of what it needs so it can make more things, what if we could like improve how the cell actually produces what it's supposed to produce to reduce to improve the healing response, reduce the inflammatory responses, to improve how your body makes energy and how the cell communicates. One of the studies that was done is this one right here. So just from perspective, when you breathe, when you eat, when you stress, when you don't sleep well, your body creates oxidation. Think of that like rust. Okay, so you're rusting. All right. That's like exhaust. So you have to take in antioxidants to combat that oxidative stress. So from perspective, you'd have to eat like 400 oranges in one day, every single day, to equal the effectiveness of taking one pill of Protandim a day to reduce that burden. So I don't know about you, but I never tried to eat 400 oranges a day. I remember in high school one day I ate like 10 and it was not a good thing, right? I live in Arizona, so oranges are good. There's no way, let alone 500 cups of broccoli. But we know that's good for us. So I can do this every single day and have the benefit of taking that quantity of the right foods in my body because this is the key that fits the keyhole that controls the assembly line for your engine to reduce the inflammatory response. So if you look at all the studies that have been done out there on oxidative stress, there's over 300,000 of them on a resource site called PubMed.gov. These are references to over 30 published studies on this product, not ingredients. The vast majority, I can't say all, but the vast majority of products that are on the market, including the ones my dad has created, there are studies on the ingredients in the products. There are not studies on the products. You just don't see this. One, because of expense and everything else. This product alone has over 30 published studies on the product specifically and what it does in reducing the oxidative stress load. And look at some of these universities from all over. There's Harvard and Mayo Clinic, the American Heart Association. There's also a 10-year study showing that it extends the lifespan of mammals. So it's a big deal. If you don't know about it, it's great. But the problem with oxidative stress, guys, you can't see it. Right? Heart disease, you don't see a lot of times until you're dead. You don't see it until your blood pressure gets too high. Like you don't see oxidative stress in a lot of people, even though those are directly related. So for me, it wasn't the studies that got my attention. I was working with a young man. He was diagnosed with 2 with autism, right? So maybe you know something like that. But let me tell you what it looked like. His life, 35 hours a week, was spent going to therapy, trying to get his brain to learn, trying to get his brain to remember, trying to get his brain to progress. So he was in the second year of this preschool, still doesn't know his letters and numbers. It's not that he wasn't getting the good schooling, it wasn't being taught, but his brain like couldn't remember or recall it. So his mom gave him this product called Axial. It's a liquid brain drink called a nootropic, but it connected the dots in his brain. He started taking it, and I'd worked with him every week for a year, right? 35 hours of therapy, seeing occupational therapist, speech therapist, everybody else. I worked with him every week for a year, doing everything that I do, and he's still struggling. His mom starts him on this. 11 days later, he comes in and he has a conversation with me. He then goes back in the back room and he actually does his task on point without being prompted. Fast forward, we watched him go from the bottom of his class in September to the top of his class 6 months later, where he was being used as the peer model for behavior, which never happened. So I started giving this to people that I know and cared about. And the next picture you're going to see, this is my own nephew's handwriting, right? And this little guy, I'd worked with him since he was born, had all sorts of crazy problems, struggled with being nervous and anxious and didn't do well with other kids in school. Like just behavior really struggled, and he'd kind of lose his temper and control and not be able to regulate. That's his handwriting on the left-hand side, not activated. That's doing the best we can, good diet, amazing parents, trying to eat clean, trying to do all the things. Nerf 2, Protandim, and the Axial, which is liquid brain food, that's his handwriting 2 weeks later. This little guy, I just watched him thrive. So it wasn't because his body didn't have the ability or the capacity, we just didn't know how to turn the switches on. And every single one of us has a higher capacity to function if we know how the switches are. So that's how LifeVantage thinks. So we have a weight loss product we've had for years. It helps your body burn more calories, but it's not truly activation. And as science improves and we find out more things about how the body works, what if we did better things? Unfortunately, in medicine, a lot of times, it's a slow response to take place. A lot of people are taking the same antibiotics their kids and grandkids took, right? Because they've been around a really long time. So this fat burn, it works. You burn about an extra 120 calories a day just by taking it, but there's something a lot bigger coming, right? And so we'll talk about that here in a minute. But with my nephew, I couldn't see oxidative stress in the form of a picture other than his handwriting, but I could see it in his behavior. All right. So when people struggle with behavior, whether it's whatever it might be, it may be because their brain's not activated, right? LifeVantage knew that we needed to have a better way of looking at activation where people could see it. So they went to the drawing board and say, hey, what if we could find a way to activate the body's ability to actually improve how we look, how our physical body formed, and so collagen. It's a giant industry, tons of people out there. I imagine most of you like throw in the chat, have you been on a collagen before? Like throw a one, like me, right? And throw a two if you took it for a long, long time, got zero results, right? Or didn't notice any results, right? We take stuff a lot of times hoping it will work. So what they did is they made an activated liquid collagen where your body could absorb it. It was activated and then it turns on the part of the cell that makes the collagen, right? So it turned on the potential inside the cell, gave it an ingredient, and the results were massive. I'm going to show you a picture here in a second of what it is that you see individuals when they're activated. But this is a slide representing what happened when they started. So that the brightness is how much, so think how thick the collagen is, right? Thick and plump and fresh. Look at the little baby, right? Their skin, there's no lines, there's no wrinkles, right? Right. And some a little older, like myself, that's 50, right? And even older, right? You start seeing these lines and wrinkles because the collagen is not as thick nor as dense, right? Tons of money spent on cosmetic procedure in order to try to make us look younger. Nothing to do with feeling younger. So this is what activation looks like in collagen. So in 8 weeks, it almost doubled the amount of collagen density that was formed because they use an activated liquid collagen. Now, yeah, that's cool in a study, right? But what does it look like in humans? So this is what it looks like. Each one of these individuals are on what we call the healthy growth stack. So NRF2, protandem, and the collagen, actually the collagen. And these are the things that we see happen in just the picture. But think about it, if it's happening on the outside, it's happening on the inside. Anything that stretches in your body, that makes structure in your body, that skin, hair, ligaments, bones, like tendons, muscles, they all have collagen. So how well you're repairing, how well you're recovering, how you look is directly proportional to how activated your body's ability to make new collagen and not tear it down. So when you see it on the outside, it is happening on the inside, right? Huge benefits, massive results that we've seen with people. And so LifeVantage said, look, how do we do this with something that's like such a big problem? And that's weight loss. Like the world and the media tells you you're overweight, right? Straight up. Like, I mean, who in here, show of hands, throw in the chat, at some time or other says, you know what, I need to lose pounds. Or my doctor said, look, I can't do that surgery until you lose some weight. Or, you know what, I've got a wedding coming up, I got to lose the weight, right? And you've tried the things. Like you've tried the things. You've tried the diets. You tried cutting calories. You tried exercising your face off, right? You tried whatever dietary products you could use, like in some diets that are super extreme. Well, what if we understood how the cells communicate to say, let's burn fat? So there is a switch in your body known as GLP-1. GLP-1 is the actual hormone switch that your intestinal tract is supposed to make when it's healthy. That's key, when it's healthy. When your intestinal tract is healthy, your cells in your intestinal tract can make this hormone called GLP-1. The medications on the market that work, that actually what they call are an agonist to GLP-1. So there's a difference between your body making something and giving yourself stuff. Remember, we don't want to like supplement our kids' income anymore. Kind of done with that thing. We want to activate their ability to make money. So there's medications out there. You may have on the glutide. These are molecules that are mostly man-made that basically they stimulate the receptor. They call it agonist. So it looks like the hormone. So it causes the body to do things like that the hormone would do, which part of it is weight loss. And again, maybe so, somebody's like done this. Throw a 3 in the chat if you know somebody's taking the medication. You don't have to say it yourself, even though there are probably many of you on here that have. So you're now giving the body, you supplement the body with something it should be doing on its own. So what are the odds of the weight loss staying off once you come off of that? It's not going to happen. So if you read the studies, if you talk to the people, like you got to change diet, you got to change all the activities. But once you lose that stimulus of the GLP, your body needs that. Not only to like tell your body, like let's have better metabolism, but it also tells your body you're full. Now, and many of the medication have lots of side effects when it comes to like how it makes people feel. That it slows down the gastric motility. A lot of times it affects their bowel movements in a big way. Just feel nauseous all the time. This happens again. Throw a 5 in the chat if you've been on one of those. There are no people that have a lot of the symptoms. So I've known about this product coming for over a year now. I'm on the scientific advisory board. I don't get paid to do this, but I have to keep my mouth shut. That's what they make us do because they're looking at what's something that we can do to help people. Guys, we need a better way to help people lose weight, right? Because there's so many bad health things with being overweight. And yet, not only from a physical standpoint, but the mental standpoint of how people feel about themselves when they work like crazy and can't lose weight. It's such a huge need out there. And I think it's close to 80% of people, not only in the United States, but worldwide, at some point in time are working on weight management. We need a better way. So these drugs out there work. So just so you know, this is kind of what it looks like. The GLP works not just on the gut, not just like on the pancreas, not just in the stomach, but it works in the brain to say, hey, you're full. It helps to protect neurons. It tells your pancreas to like do what it's supposed to do and help with what's called insulin resistance. It helps your stomach basically feel full so you don't overeat. All right. It protects your heart. There's so many benefits there. So what might you expect? Less food noise. I'll have Shauna kind of share what she said. I love how she said this. Feeling fuller longer. No need to snack between meals. Spend less time thinking about food. Like who would like some of that, right? Not want to have cravings into the night. And byproduct of that is weight loss. So I love that picture on the left because this is what it looks like. Now, Shauna, why don't you kind of, you called me last week or text me, and just so you know, she's pretty persistent, okay? Because like she texts me and she'll, can you chat? I'm like, okay, well, why? And then because she wanted to know something, and let's kind of walk through that conversation in a second because I thought it was powerful. Because okay, there's only a handful of people that have this product, and they actually are getting to use it yet because it doesn't release until October 11th, right? Not released. Now I wish I had it now. But I want to kind of talk through, these are pictures of individuals that are on the products and the results that they're already seeing. All right, Ms. Shauna.
So us trial participants are a little over 2 weeks in, and at 2 weeks, I was down 13 pounds. That's me on the bottom, unfortunately. I hate looking at that picture, but I'm putting it out there for all of you. It's scary, but I'm doing it for you. So I called Brett because I was like, what the heck? 13 pounds? Like, that's literally the first thing I said to you, right? And I was like, I need to understand. Like, I'm grateful. I'm grateful because I got weight to lose, obviously. But I need to understand why. It's not like I'm not eating. It's not like I just need to understand. Sure, I'm eating less. Sure, I'm like all of it. But Brett, then what did you say to me? You said, well, this could take a couple hours to explain this to you, but the simple version is, why don't you give them the simple version that you think?
Well, it was fun because I was driving. I'm like, well, this is not a simple answer, but I'll give you what I can. And we had good coverage for a while. But like, you have done so many right things over the years, right? Trying to eat good and trying to like exercise and all those things. And so when I said 11 pounds in 13 days, like what in the world? Right? Because like the last thing I would want to do is like overpromise something. But what's happening is this signal that's been in her body her whole life wasn't activated. Even with doing clean food and doing good dietary things, it just wasn't turning the switch on. And once you turn that switch on, it works in the brain to say, hey, I'm full, I'm satisfied. And I love what you said a minute ago. The word you used was willpower.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out, you guys here, I'll kind of tell you get a little vulnerable for you here. Excuse me. Weight is an emotional thing to talk about, I think. But I have dealt with weight my entire life, right? Since I've been activated, I feel amazing. My blood work is so good. But the weight kind of just stayed with me. And it's been a struggle, right? Mentally, all the things. And when they said, hey, what you can expect was the food noise to go away, I was like, I don't even know what that means, honestly, till now, till I don't have it. And I think the reason I didn't know that is because I've lived with it my whole life. What I can now try and explain to you the best way that I can of what that means for me right now is I'm like, sure, it activated my weight loss, but I think I just activated my willpower.
And I love that.
Willpower against food. I feel like food has probably had control over my mind my whole life. I don't think about it all day long. I don't need, it's like I just kicked the devil off my shoulder that was telling me I needed chips and I needed all this stuff that I was constantly in battle with. It's like I literally just kicked him off my shoulder and now I'm in control.
And
And
I love that you said that, Shauna, because I really think a lot of people, they feel like they don't have willpower. And it really is because that there's this signal that hasn't been working in you, and unfortunately, it had to do with some of the food supply and some of that. We're not getting into that. So what happened when she started using this activated GLP system? That food noise changed because there's GLP receptors in our brain that says we're full and you don't need it anymore. There's GLP receptors in your pancreas that say, hey, we need to produce insulin, we need to reduce insulin sensitivity. There's GLP receptors in your liver that say, hey, let's burn this stuff. Let's no longer store this stuff as fat. Like we don't want a fatty liver, right? And that's a huge problem. And there's GLP receptors in your heart that said, let's break these triglycerides down, right? We don't want this stuff plaque in our heart. So this is huge, right? And we knew this was, we knew we activated GLP-1 from the study. We knew that it worked. We just didn't know what would happen in humans, right? I love the way LifeVantage creates products because we aren't guessing about what we're doing. Like we are looking at studies, look at the unique switches, understanding the science, say, hey, is there a natural way to get the body to be more activated? It wants to get better. We want to teach good people good dietary habits. We want to teach people like the right way to develop different self-esteem. But like, let's give them the tools to turn the noise down. And these are real people having results. So I've been on it 2 weeks myself. People might say, well, you look skinny. Yeah, right. But have you ever heard of skinny fat, right? Where you're holding weight in places you shouldn't because of just, I'm 50 now and maybe don't have as much muscle mass as you. Like my wife, I think after about 4 or 5 days of me being on it, she's like, your belly's going away. I should, like, that was nice of her, right? I think, right? Yeah, it's funny, Shauna. But like it was bugging me. I mean, I play sports and stuff like that, but yeah, it was bugging me. And it's drastic. My body fat percentage is down a point and a half to 1.5% in 2 weeks. She's having significant results herself with inches lost. And I love what you said about the willpower because we've been married close to 30 years. And I always had the there's got to be a way that I can help shut down that food noise because, women, I've had 4 sisters, like there's just a way where I can help them have more success in losing that weight. And I do all sorts of right things, like give them the right thing to do. But like, this is awesome to be able to have an ability now to like not guess, like we can turn this switch on that is critical for us. So we're excited to share this. I know that we're now on this mission to do this and there'll be more coming on the science. Just know that, just know, like we now know the switch. We have a natural way of doing it. Super excited, but we want to help people get prepared for being able to get the most benefit because these people you're seeing here, they're already activated with the pathways that we know to get the benefit. Because if the gut is more healthy, you'll have better response. So we're going to kind of talk through a couple of things that you can do to prep yourself if this is something you want to start doing.
absolutely. You guys, I want to just ask you, when you look at this, I think we're up to a 4, put a 4 in the chat if you know somebody who could benefit from activating their GLP-1 to have a story like this. Because y'all think that this is going to be massive, right? Like this is going to be massive. October 11th, when everybody can get their hands on this and the amount of stories that is going to happen because of this. I'm just going to tell you, this is a really big deal. The first to market GLP-1 natural activator that has the capabilities to do that. We need more voices to help spread this activation story. This activation story is powerful. So I want you to ask yourself, do you have some friends who want to feel better and lose weight? Would you want to help them? Because there is a business side to activation. I will tell you that. And maybe you're somebody who's like, hey, you know what I mean? I have a few friends that I definitely would want to share this with and maybe be able to pay for my own products. Here's what that kind of looks like. 7 friends ordering monthly on a good, healthy activation stack, probably going to make you about $225 a month to pay for your own products. Maybe you have 25 friends, right? 25 friends ordering monthly. That's going to be about $1,200 a month on a good activation stack. How much does $1,200, like put a 5 in the chat below. It's going to be about $1,200 a month. Maybe you have 25 friends, right? 25 friends ordering monthly. That's going to be about $1,200 a month on a good activation stack. How much does 1,200, like put a 5 in the chat below if $1,200 a month could help your family. This is what I mean by activating your whole life when we talked about that. Isn't it likely that if you were sharing with about 25 friends and getting them started, that one of them is going to raise their hand and say, oh, I want to do this with you, right? That I have a lot of friends raising their hand right now saying, I see what's happening to you and I want to do this with you. This is what it looks like with you and a friend helping 25 people. It's about $20,000 a year for you. On the side, spare time. That's big, big, big for a lot of people. And I want you to know that this is just you and one friend. You can help way more people. You can have way more friends that join you, and it just multiplies and multiplies and multiplies, okay? The sky is truly the limit here. But we earn income in a few different ways. By sharing the product, right? Just like this, by sharing activation. You can build and grow a team if you choose to. You can be part of this movement, which is really fun to be a part of. And you can even help lead the movement if you choose to. There's space for all of it, any way that it fits for you. But when I say the sky's the limit, there's people here making $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $100,000 a month. There are people in LifeVantage doing that, consultants. It's totally up to you what this looks like, but I just would be remiss if I didn't tell you about that. If you want more information about the exact compensation plan of LifeVantage and what that looks like, you can scan that QR code on the screen and it will take you there and you can explore that a little bit. Maybe you're like, hey, I don't know, the business side of activation isn't for me. That's totally cool, right? I'm guessing you're thinking, but activation is for me. Brett, do you want to talk to him maybe about these few options here?
Sure. So if you want to maximize the benefit of weight loss, right, and especially this GLP-1 activation, I used to go try to decide what people need, right, and just try to tell them what I think they like could afford versus like this is what I would do. So I'm going to tell you what I would do, okay? But I tell start wherever you fit in because the more right things you do, the better results you get. Right. And it's not like, 1 + 1 is 2. A lot of times just 1 + 1 + 1 can equal 6. So bare minimum, start doing Nerve 2 Pro Tandem to where your body can start controlling that healing response where your body can basically quench the exhaust that's going on inside your cells. So they can just feel and function better. Like how you feel as a result of how well it's controlled at. Right.
Y'all, that pricing is wrong. I just looked at that. I'm so sorry. That pricing on Pro Tandem and Nerve 2 wrong. Subscribe and save price is $62. I'm so sorry. So.
You see, Shauna, thank you for doing the slides. She's way better at this than me, and so I appreciate it. So I'm surprised you made a mistake.
Neither one of us caught that. I'm so sorry, you guys. But $62 for Pro Tandem and Nerve 2 baseline.
Right. Then there's a Kickstart bundle, which basically that's the Nerve 2. Okay. That's the Axial, which is the brain drink. Love it. Okay. And then there's the fat burn. But that's going to kickstart your metabolism. It's going to start getting your body, healing responses down and helping prepare the brain to maximize. Remember, we have all these GLP receptors in our brain, and then or the Healthy Glow stack. This is probably one of my favorite stacks because of the results you will see and that you will feel. This has been a life changer for so many people in my life and my practice. So whatever one fits in for you for what you ultimately want. So hey, I want to start somewhere. Start Nerve 2. Okay. Maybe like, hey, how can I get to where I afford these products? Like I said, if you just share with a handful of people, that's one way to get your products paid for.
Absolutely. So you can start as a customer. It's easy peasy. Just get back to the person who invited you and tell them, maybe tell them, hey, I'm really interested in one of these bundles. That would really help direct them on how to help you as well. So I just want to kind of end with this. You must position yourself, Warren Buffett says this, I'm a Nebraska girl, right? So I resonate with this man. You must position yourself in front of a growth curve, not in the middle or at the end, right? But in the inception, and then realize that window of opportunity is always closing. So work like there is no tomorrow. I love that. I don't know if you feel like that when you hear about GLP-1 activator. That's how I feel about GLP-1 activator. there is going to be a massive growth curve, and you could get started in part of the movement before it launches in front of the wave that is about to happen. And if you're thinking that that might be something that you want to explore, how that works is you enroll with a pack and you subscribe with a stack. Okay. So as a consultant, you decide which of these activation packs is right for you. Okay. I think there's a total of 6 to choose from. These are our 3 most popular, right? You can go with the Healthy Glow Stack option. There's the Healthy Glow Stack plus skincare option. But I'll be honest with you, if you're thinking like, oh, I love the idea of Axio, fat burn, collagen, right? The few things that we talked about tonight, you're obviously going to like the skincare and the hair care too. The Business Builders Pack is so much value. You can see it's 36% savings on the products. You only do that one time, and then you decide what you want to take monthly, just for you and your family. So it's a really easy. The $49 is, I say 50, but it's really $49. Business fee is included in one of these packs when you get started. So literally, my husband said to me this when we got started. He said, "You're kidding. We get to eat and consume our investment." Like, we're starting a business. We'd started like 3 businesses in the past. You know what I mean? And you put out a lot of money, like, to start a business, and you don't see anything back in the beginning. He's like, we get to consume and use like our investment. And I'm like, yeah, isn't that pretty cool here? It's totally different. It's absolutely amazing. But you can get back to the person who invited you about which pack, or ask any and all questions. They can help you with all the specifics. I will tell you this. This has changed my whole life. When I say it activates your whole life, this has changed my entire life. I used to yearn. Yes, I was ready to start a health journey, but I used to yearn to travel with my family. But I was kind of shackled to my traditional business, meaning I might have had enough time or money, but I wasn't willing to leave my business because it needed me there to go do it. But yet I yearned to make memories and adventure with my family. And since starting LifeVantage, everything has changed. Everything has changed for my family, and we're living the life that we want to dream of being able to live, and making an impact like we never could imagine of being able to make. And it's only going to get better and better with this new GLP-1 activator. So we are so grateful that you spent the last 30 minutes with us. We appreciate you, but you can certainly get back to the person who invited you and let them know how you would like to start. If you're like, hey, I want to be a customer and I want one of those bundles. If you have questions and want to know more about being a consultant and joining this movement, let's talk through that with them. It really can be something that will compound for the next years of your life. So we're excited for you to start your activation journey, no matter what that looks like for you. Thanks for joining us so much.